Someone like random tweet, some sort of random translated tweet or something like that that's been floating about.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know why you're laughing because I pressed live ages ago. It's taken forever to go.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, you two. Thank you ever so much for joining me on this. Rather, I don't know what it's like. What's it like up north? Is it warm?
Shit.
I'm red hot, mate.
It's a bit tepid, isn't it?
I'm
red the right word?
It's very close. Humid.
Yes. A bit close. Loads and loads to talk about tonight in the week that has been at Leeds United. We were hoping to be joined by a friend of the pod, very good friend and ex-Leeds United striker Simon Johnson, but unfortunately he's in bed with man flu, so he does send his apologies. Simon won't be joining us tonight. But yeah, as I said before, loads and loads to get through. What we'll do, we will run an intro and we'll get into a bit.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds eating bastard.
Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
You utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
Yes. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the very happy clapping show that is the Orta Know Better. Yes. Let's get into it. Oh no, I tell you who said yes. Who used to say yes?
No, don't say it.
Was it? Who was it?
No, it wasn't yes. It was welcome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's busy, mate.
No, yes was wasn't that somebody who turned out to be a nonce, like on telly?
Oh, nice.
I thought you were going to say Savile.
Yeah, isn't it Savile? Yes.
Don't know.
Now then.
All dickhead YouTubers say yes. Now then. What's happening, people? Blah, blah, blah,
What's happening, bruv?
We're not that kind of people.
Anyway, let's have a bit of a chat. I mean, we'll like loads and loads of bits to get through. Nice top, Smarty. People are saying very nice top. I do like it,
lads. Thank you very much. All the way from the US of A. USA!
Very nice. Yeah, man. When I put a tweet out this week just with the hashtag LUFC, it was just a video and it didn't actually play. I think Twitter was fucked at the time, but it was D-Ream and it was things can only get better and it was literally the opening fucking.
Oops.
What the hell?
I didn't do that.
What is he
yeah, it was the opening. It was the opening sequence to Dareem and things can only get better. I mean, from a perspective of Leeds fans and our perspective and our view, can things get better and will they get better? I mean, we'll start with the weekend. With the weekend's fixture against Birmingham, what I saw as a bit of a smash and grab. No team really deserved to leave that game, and no team would have been unhappy with a point, I don't think. But I was on B&C with Jay. We had a couple of guests on as well. We had Matty, Russ, absolute class, and Joe Wayman came on as well, for a bit. So yeah, we had quite a good group of us on having a bit of a chat and sort of delving a bit into the actual game itself, and we just totally went off piece and started talking about the shit state that we're in. So first things first, let's talk about that Birmingham game between you both. I know you both watched in parts. So yeah, start with you, Gilly. How did you see it other than dog shit?
I mean, wasn't it? I think you're right in terms of no team could have complained if they came away with 1 point. I don't think they did enough to deserve to take 3 points. But it were kind of a let's try and outshit the other team. No one took control. No one had any impetus. We were completely toothless. I think, in terms of possession, we had the ball, but we didn't really do much with it. I think you can see what Farke's trying to do. There's patterns of play, but they're not effective yet. And without somebody that's actually a goal threat, that effectiveness is always going to wane. I think the impact that those players that have decided not to make themselves available for the fixtures, that's hurting the squad. And I think that they carried that into that game as well. If you think those players are going to feel really let down, I'm not surprised that they're training on their own, because any player that has anything about them is going to snap them in two if they're training with them. I never played Premier League football. I never played professional, far away from it. But if anybody were doing any of that, even if you didn't get them at training, you'd be giving them a good talking to, and it wouldn't be pretty in changing rooms if they'd have left you high and dry and just not turned up or whatever. So I can't imagine that there's any world in which that doesn't have an impact to the players that actually play and actually work for the shirt. So it was a shit game, but the shit storm around it, as you all pointed out, you were all on form on the pod. I was umming and ahhing as to whether to bother listening to it, and I'm glad that I did. And the reason for that is, fucking, can it get any worse? Can I listen to somebody talk about how shit it is? And I needed it in the end. I'm glad I listened. But it's just that, when you're saying things can only get better and you think it can't get any worse, and then it really does. And it is decisions. It's not bad luck. It's not getting the results that we wanted. It's decisions that players that we've celebrated are making that hamper and harm the club, and that's what really sticks, isn't it?
Yeah, man, I can't disagree with that, and I think just a point I want to touch on there, which will probably take us off on a little bit of a tangent before I come to you, Smarty, is the state that these lads have left their mates in. They've ultimately left their mates out to dry at a professional level, and that goes for all of them. For me, it doesn't just go for one or two of them. It goes for all of them. Probably less so the players who were only here for 6 months or so, or even a year. But I genuinely, I don't want to go into it too much now because it's something I want to touch upon in a little while. But yeah, I mean, what must be the feeling, Smarty, between how do you think the mood in the camp is? Arguably your best players do not want to play with you because they think they're too good.
Well, I don't know, because I've never been in that situation. We can only guess, can't we, as fans? But when I used to play amateur football and one of the lads didn't turn up, or a couple of them didn't turn up on a Sunday morning because they were either too pissed to play or whatever, you were pissed off. So I can only imagine what the guys who play professionally, whose livelihoods depend on, well, not obviously depend on wins, but playing football, and you want to win, don't you? They're all footballers. They all want to win. They don't just turn up to, well, some of them did last season, obviously. But you don't just turn up to just play football as best you can. You turn up because you want to win and you want to play football and you want to play it well. When you've got guys that can't be arsed turning in and refuse to play, to refuse to get on the fucking coach, just before the coach is about to leave to Birmingham, that is just terrible. Because I guarantee you, Nonto will have been in Farker's plans for that game. He would have started and everything, and it's just completely, totally messed up everything. If he'd have gone the day before and said, "Look, I'm not going to travel," then not that it's fine, but it'd be better than him just turning up to the coach and say, "I'm not getting on, coach. See you later." But I don't know. It's just I'm just really, really pissed off. It's shit being a Leeds fan again. And it doesn't seem too long ago when we're all saying it's fucking shit being a Leeds fan with a brunt of everyone's jokes and stuff. It's just terrible. I'm miserable. I don't want to go on Friday because I know it's just going to be shit. I can't believe the fucking team that we fielded against Birmingham. I can't believe Luke Ayling and fucking Jamie Shackleton made up our right side of the team. It's just an absolute shambles. And the only victims in all of this is the fans, and the fans deserve better and deserve more. And it's just an absolute joke.
Yeah, and just on the fans there, Smarty, for me, my thoughts are that, look, these clauses that were inserted in these contracts were arguably a double-edged sword. We've seen the financial benefits, albeit relatively small, that these contracts are going to have, these loan clauses and whatever else, but there was absolutely zero incentive for those players with that clause last season to perform towards the end of the season. They had a get-out-of-jail-free card. They were going to be playing at a higher level next season, regardless of what happened, as long as somebody came in for them, which, the players that seem to have had these clauses think that they are good enough to do. So yeah, it's absolutely fucking shocking. We're in a position now where we actually don't know what's going on. We're having no communication from the club again. We're not got any press releases. We're not had any information as to as to what basically what's going on. Are we going to be signing players? You know, there's rumours going around that we've put a bid in for a striker. Nobody has a fucking clue who the striker is. I've seen some wild takes on that, by the way. Absolutely mad takes on that.
Well, I've seen a few of the worst, probably of them all. Is McBurney, I think, for me.
John Kevin Augustin was one of them. I'm not even joking. This is how desperate we're getting. You know, this is almost fucking. And I went on Joe's. Was it last night? Was it Monday? Last night.
Yeah, it was Monday.
Oh no, I didn't go on Joe's
Monday
last
or
night.
Sunday. Monday or Sunday.
I can't remember.
Sunday.
Anyway, I went on Sunday. We went on Sunday with Joe. Yeah, and we were talking about. I've totally lost my train of thought. What was he going about then?
About the signings and John Kevin Augustin and other strikers that we're being linked with and stuff.
Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. Fuck knows what I was on about.
Must
I said
be
something
really
on Joe's show that
interesting.
was relative. Yeah, it was totally funny and relative, but it's gone.
What about this thing with Angus potentially confirming that we are in for a striker, but it's not Pirot, but it's somebody that they think is as good as?
No, it wasn't. It might come back to me in a bit. Anyway, I know we've popped a little. Just on a professional level, I know Simon was going to come on and give us his thoughts on this mutiny, if we like, if we want to sort of use that word. But I know, Gilly, you managed to pull up a tweet from Brian Dean that he released earlier on today.
Got to say this, when I hear players refusing to play for their teams because they don't want to spoil a move, for me, it's the lowest thing a player can do. It desecrates all the hard work put in by those before who had to earn the shirt and paved the way for players in now. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
You can't really add much to that. And it just shows that professional players would be impacted by that as we think that they would. They're not just letting the fans down, they're also letting down the players out there. Those players that are willing to play it and put the shirt on and go and do what they can. And we saw, Dan James got some shit, for no end product and whatever else. But fuck me, he worked hard. But that's not enough. You need some quality on the ball, and you do need some end product. But I don't think you can have a go at him. It's like people having a go at Cooper for still being our best centre-back. It's not his fault. He can't help not being replaced. Ayling's the same. If and I know we were trying to sign a right back, and what happened with Aaron's happened, but you're in a position as a player, if you're going to get that stick, as how do they win? Do they down tools as well? Because otherwise they're going to get stick from the fans because they're not good enough. But the club hasn't replaced them. I don't know. That seems mad to me.
It's a shit situation, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Any sort of would-be player that's potentially going to sign for the club has got to look at the squad at the minute and go, well, where's the quality? You're wanting to get promoted out of this league, but who the fuck have you got that's going to get us there? Because the squad that you've got at the minute ain't going to do it.
Yeah, and think of how Ampadu feels now signing when Cinny and Willie and Jimmy and Jackie were all there, and he's thinking, right, do you know what? I've got some dynamite in front of me. I'm going to be playing with these guys week in, week out, and then all of a sudden, none of them are there.
You've got to feel for somebody to come in before
and played up front.
Oh, God, honest to God.
Do you know what I mean? This just, I mean, just to go back to the Brum game, then before we sort of do digress too far. I mean, yeah, Joe Rodon, 8 substitutes on the bench, 2 of which were goalkeepers, and throwing Joe Rodon on in the 80 whatever minute it was to try and rescue a point after we'd gone behind back from a dubious penalty decision.
Semi-final, trying to get him to score a free kick, in it. It's them kind of vibes.
Corner flab.
Corner flab.
Corner flab.
That as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tragic. It is tragic, and it's upsetting. It's not a nice place to be in. We had a couple of years where we were playing really nice football under Marcelo, and we got promoted in the second one of those. And then, we had the third season, the first season back in the Premier League, which we could all gloat about, and it was a nice position to be as a Leeds fan. We had the world, world was our oyster. We thought we were going to start, improving and getting better, and it's just got worse and worse. Yeah, it's just got worse and worse from there. There are actually no positive since then. I mean, even people said that they couldn't wait to get rid of Rads and bring the 49ers in. Now I'm seeing those same people saying 49ers are chances, they're skimp wankers. The same people that wanted rid of Rads for being a tight ass bastard are now saying that 49ers are skimp.
No one's got anything to pin it on, though, have they?
No, I can understand.
The brutally obvious fact that half of us fucking players have just pissed off. The terrible human beings that they are. They've just fucked off. So we've been left right in the shit, haven't we? Right, proper in the shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
Cold Toast says he's sadly covered in corner flab. What a lovely thought. Love handles, we call them in Yorkshire. Yeah, I mean, Birmingham game then, Smarty, for you. Do you think we win that with Cine and Nonto?
I think with I think we do. I think it was lacking a couple of bits of quality. I think in the areas where they were more effective, they had the better quality, even though they couldn't touch us because they were also absolutely terrible. But we just had nothing. I found myself scrolling through Instagram and Twitter and everything else rather than actually watching the game. It's hard to watch a game when there's so much other influence around everything else that's going on at the time. The club's in an absolute shit state. So it's hard to kind of try and enjoy watching an absolute dross football team play football when apparently the objective this transfer window is to be aggressive and we're going to piss the league and all of the other stuff that we were so confident and happy around just merely a few weeks ago. It's now gone to shit and we're all miserable bastards again. Yeah. But yeah, the game was shit, proper shit. Didn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
thought it was very, very poor.
I didn't think the Leeds fan. I mean, obviously, Leeds fans were a lot louder than Brum. I didn't hear Brum once until the score.
That commentator, fucking hell, man. I thought
we were listening on radio, Smart, remember? So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, sorry. He sounded like he was gonna jizz himself. Yeah. Gonna leave some snail trails in his underpants, especially when they got a fucking penalty. Christ alive! A momentous occasion. It's gonna go down in history. I'm like, you need to get a fucking grip.
The way they played that Tom Brady fucking malarkey up, man. What
makes you feel sick, doesn't it?
What type of investor is he when he's really quite small? Not a minimal investor, is he? He's a
fuck knows.
Majority. What's the opposite to majority?
Minority? I didn't even know Tom Brady
minority investment
last year.
Yeah. So
I had to Google who the fuck I was last year. I had no idea.
Who, Tom Brady?
All these yeah. I didn't. Last year I was like, oh, this Tom Brady. I'm not into NFL. I'm a fucking English lad. I don't watch that fucking shit version of rugby. I mean, I think rugby's terrible, but that's even worse. Have you ever watched an NFL match? Fuck me.
Yeah, I actually quite enjoy it.
Me too. Tom Brady's a legend, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right, okay, then. Yeah, I'm sure he's a wonderful, lovely bloke. Well done, Tom.
The way they played that up, that experience, that occasion for it to go down in history, and look, everybody loves to beat Leeds United, and we're going to have a lot more of them this season where things don't go for us, and we've got to say the squad we had out away from home against Birmingham. I didn't think we did that bad. I mean, the football was shit, but I felt things could have gone a lot worse. Is probably the best way to put it. When I saw the squad, no, well, losing a lot heavily.
I suppose we could have been
out of the game from the first minute. Yeah, and that would have been a lot more embarrassing. But when I saw the team sheet,
they're a poor side though, and they wouldn't have battered us because
shit. So
they're shite.
But it's luck, isn't it, that we were playing against the shit team.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we'd have got battered with that side out.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, just the final thing. Obviously the goal. Then, Gilly, for you, Stonewall penalty.
Well, I listened to your coverage on it. I not Stonewall, no, because I think the contact may have continued into the box, but the initial contact was certainly outside the box.
So what's the ruling on that now? Do you know officially? Because I had somebody try telling me now that the ruling was if the foul continues into the area that it's now considered a penalty.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was where the initial contact was. Is that right, or has he made that up and just tried blagging me?
I don't think it was explicitly stated that if it starts outside of the penalty, it's not a penalty. Outside of the box, it's not a penalty. I just don't think it was explicitly stated at all. But 3 or 4 seasons ago, it was added into the laws that if it continues into the box, then it is a penalty. I think they were just clearing it up rather than saying it's one and then it's the other. They were just making it clear. I don't even think it's clear that it continued into the box. I think it could go either way. So it's a marginal decision for me. And ultimately, I don't blame. I love Bill, but if he acts differently there, it doesn't even get to that point.
Yes. Agreed.
If he's in a better position and he defends as he should, it doesn't even get there.
And same for Dan James. The amount of people slating Dan James. Dan James does not take his eye off the ball at any point.
No.
Throughout that challenge. So to blame Dan James, he's quite lazy and a bit naive, if you ask me as well. Didn't have a great game, but still, we got Dan James who did Dan James stuff. So let's fuck that off then. Let's go a bit more into the mutiny. I want to talk about it in a bit more detail.
Into happier things.
Yeah. Let's spin a positive. Let's spin a positive, seeing as though we've got another game on Friday in 3 days' time. So yeah, this whole mutiny situation, we touched upon it with Brian Dean, and I'm sure Simon's thoughts would have probably been something similar. You've got Archie Gray there, who's only 2 years younger than Willie Gnonto, and probably living his dream right now, playing for the club that his dad, his uncle, his great uncle and his granddad played for. And he's probably
Cresswell behind him,
and Cresswell with him as well. Yeah, and these are young players that should be being guided and influenced by better players within the squad. Now, when you're seeing somebody who thinks that they're a fucking 10-bob millionaire, too good for the club. I'm talking about Sinisterra specifically because Gnonto's not. I mean, they're not. Neither of them are older, but they've played at a higher level than Archie Gray and Cresswell previously. One for Italy, and obviously with the other one for Colombia. And did he play in the Champions League or Euro for Feyenoord? Sinisterra. Anyway, point being that they should be setting a better example for ultimately. Where would these two now stand for you in comparison to the Sick Note 6, for instance? Are they on the same shit list? Are they at the same level? Gilly? Are they worse?
I think the Sick Note 6 tried to actively encourage other people not to play as well, which I think probably makes them slightly worse. Although for me, this is Charlie Taylor, Chris Wood territory. They are players that are looking for a move, that have put themselves in a position where they're saying that they're not going to play. So, Gnonto and Cine and Charlie Taylor and Chris Wood. I do think that the Sick Note 6 are a bit worse. But
why did the Sick Note 6 become the Sick Note 6? I can't ever remember the actual reason.
They were all Italian, weren't they? They were all Italian.
Yeah, but why did they do it, though? I can't ever remember there being a reason other than they were all a bunch of wankers and they refused to play.
Well, they never came out and said that they'd refused to play, did they? So
Silvestri said he's back, didn't he? I think Ducara said he were injured or something.
Maybe they weren't all Italian then.
Yeah, Ducara, obviously. Yeah.
The majority were, though. There was Belushi.
Yeah. Mario Del Fablo, Antonucci.
Yeah. God, we've had some.
Did Antonucci do it as well?
Yeah.
Antonucci was actually genuinely injured, though, wasn't he? Because he wanted to distance.
He would another one.
He didn't even hardly play that big galoot, did he?
No.
Edgar Chani. He must have. I reckon. Less than a game's worth.
Wasn't he Albanian? Didn't it come out that he ended up having ties to like some real dodgy underground stuff? Or was that somebody else?
To do with that?
Didn't Sol Bamba come out years later and say that they were injured and they were just a bunch of wankers?
Bianchi was another.
Oh yeah, Bianchi.
I
remember when he signed and we played Accrington Stanley and it were absolutely. I thought it were absolutely class.
Yeah.
Bianchi.
Do you know what we are missing?
This lad's going to set league on fire.
I don't think Bianchi was one. I think Bianchi might have gone by then.
I can't remember. There was so many from that time. There were that many frigging Italians playing for us at that point.
There was a lot of shit. There was a lot of shit, wasn't there? But I mean...
And Wassim Boy in the background.
God, Wassim Boy. Fucking hell. I actually used him in an example the other day when I was having an argument. And I can't remember the actual topic or why I was arguing. I've had a lot of them recently where I've just argued because I'm that fucking angry about life and Leeds specifically. I had a great off-season, by the way. Just proper chill, went to loads of gigs, got pissed all summer, and then the football season started again, and I'm fucking,
angry, pissed off, miserable, feeling let down, kind of empty inside.
like there's a rain cloud following me everywhere.
But the worst bit about it all is, after last season, it were kind of, and you made this point at the end of last season, was, look, we can look forward to winning some games. And now even that's gone to shit.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
No, I was actually looking for. I was pessimistically looking forward to actually going into a league where I thought, we're going to be there or thereabouts, and there's still time for that. Let me not just suck all this energy away from everybody and all this positivity, because there is still time to make a change. We've got over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks left.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
I
said I'm absolutely fully behind the club. 100%. They're going to sign 6 or 7 or 8 players that we're missing by the end of the next 2 weeks, and we're going to be fucking all singing. I open the football. That'll be us in stands.
We're going up as fucking champions.
Yeah.
Just on that then. So there was a little bit of sarcasm in there from the pair or one of you.
Really?
Both of you, actually. So do you blame the 49ers for any of this?
No.
The new ownership, Smarty.
No.
And why not?
Oh.
I mean, well, he might say something different. I mean, Parag, when we were interviewed just slightly before the season, he said he knew stuff were happening, but as obviously the minor side of the investment, because he only owed 44%, 46% at the time, he was kind of just a passenger, wasn't he? So that's what he said in his own words in that interview. So they must have known what was going on. Did they know how much, obviously, Orta had influence over the contracts and stuff at the time? I don't know. But at the end of the day, we are victims of circumstance, and those circumstances were the fact that Orta and Rads ran the club at that time, and this is just a situation that's been bred from their fucking absolutely shite ownership. So you can't really force it down their throats that much at the moment in time. If they don't do anything about the signings thing by the end of the transfer window, then yes, we have a right to kick off, but there's still 2 weeks to go. At the minute, I'm not chomping at the bit to kind of kick off with the 49ers. All my fucking loathing and hatred is aimed squarely at Orta and Rads at this moment in time, for me, personally.
And is that based on the contracts that they've allowed?
Based on the fact that we're absolutely up shit creek without a paddle. And I've got an hole in my boat as well, just for good measure. And I've only got one arm, because a piranha's chomped it off.
They'd go for your head first, by the way.
No, they won't fucking go anywhere near. I'll fucking headbutt them.
More meat on your head.
Get back in there, you little bastard.
Gilly, then, do you share those thoughts?
I mean, I can see the position, but I think if you are a board member, so the way that boards operate is you've got the people that are the chief executives, the chief level people that are on the board, and then you've got non-executive directors, and as a whole, they have to steer the ship that is a company, and therefore, as a director of the business, Parag absolutely had a voice in that boardroom, and therefore, if he wasn't aware of some of this stuff, then I think he's guilty for not being as involved as he should be.
Yeah.
Well, guilty by omission, I were going to go with. But yeah, it's that piece of he was a director of the club, so you can't get away from it. He was involved. He is involved now. So while I think the majority share of the blame sits with Rads, sits with Orta, and I do really, really want some forensic accountants to come in and have a look at what's gone on at the club, because how you can be this bad by accident is very, very suspicious to me. So I'd like that to be looked quite closely at. They've got to shoulder some of it, because it's not like they weren't there at all.
No, I mean, I agree, but I mean, we've still got one of them who was part of that leadership team still at the club in Angus. So how much of that blame? I mean, he was chief executive officer, so he's CEO of the club and
Chief
still is.
Wanker.
He will have known everything about inside out about these contracts. He should have effectively been a part of the handover to the 49ers, saying, this is what we've got, this is what we're going to be left with, this is who we expect to stay, this is who we expect to leave. You know, we should have been prepared for this, is what I'm trying to say, if people have been doing their jobs correctly. Even with the shit show that we've been left in.
This should
Yeah,
they had
I
enough
agree.
time, didn't they, before the season started, before Fark was brought on board as well to say, right, who's in and who's out, basically, who can we rely on, who's going to shit us out, right towards the end of the transfer window and jump ship and leave us right up, up a slippery canal. But it's just
any management structure
sorry.
needs to be looked at with succession planning in mind. Any business in the world needs to do that. And that's about how do you address gaps in that organisation if key personnel leave. Now, that's fairly straightforward in football. You know who all your key personnel are, and you need to have plans in place to cover those gaps if they do develop. And it just feels like the level of income. And what I'm saying is I don't think it's possible to be that incompetent. It's so incompetent that it stinks. And I'm not going to get our pod into hot water by throwing accusations around, but I would like that to be looked at very closely by people that know what they're doing from a legality and financial crime standpoint.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, and the position we're left with now because of these, these snakes is probably the best way want of a word. Is that you look back at the Risdale at the end, and that was the point.
Did you see
that was the
game?
Point? No, wait. That's the point. Don't stop me now. It's come back. That was the point. I said on goals, and yes. So that was it. In terms of comparison between now and when we were relegated under Risdale, we had players that genuinely cared and wanted to be here that we had to get rid of, and we had to get rid of them for financial implications. Now, the position we're in now is that actually we wanted to keep these players because we've got the money to pay the wages. We want them to stay here because we want the better players in the league, but they don't want to be here. So we're almost on a sort of flip side of a coin here between the two situations. You remember seeing. I mean, I hate to use him as an example, but he genuinely did care about the club when he was here in Alan Smith. Whatever he did afterwards, the tears at Bolton and everything, he genuinely did. He was a fan of the club growing up, and then what he did after that, he did whatever. Do you know what I mean? But there was a lot of players that were here then that genuinely did care for the shirt and the badge, and I'm having a lot of arguments actually on social media at the moment around some particular players. They're given a free ride. So, for instance, let's go down the avenue here of Jack Harrison, for instance. Now, I know we all have different views and opinions on him as a player and what he brings to Leeds United. But regardless of that opinion, do you still tarnish him with the same brush as everybody else, or do you think he gets a bit more of a free ride because he's been here longer and he's helped us for longer and he's got history with getting us promoted? Does he get a bit more leeway, or is he still a snake? I'll start with you, Smarty, on that one because.
No, I've put a different one in. Look,
you're a swine. You're a swine. I was commenting early before you joined, obviously, because you were on time as usual, to the private chat. And that's
I'm a stick of punctuality.
Sneaky swine took a picture of me when I was not looking. Anyway, yes, to a degree, yes, I think so. I think he has to be, because he doesn't have to go, does he? I mean, they've all got choices, these players. People can activate the clauses. They've got choices. They could either stay and fight for the fucking club that have been paying the wages and taking them up into the Premier League. Jack Harrison's been with us a long, long time. And to just go, yeah, fuck it, I'm going. See you later.
While he's still injured and been under the club's medical team,
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the changing rooms. I'd love to see what the atmosphere is like at Thorpe Arch at the moment. I really would.
I think Jack's slightly worse because he's got real mates that he got promoted within that squad.
Yeah, I know.
Proper
it's
friends,
kind of like
long
a Calvin
time
Phillips situation. Some people fucking hate him. Some people are really happy for him. I don't think he'll ever get one voice, true opinion.
I think the comparison there, Smarty, for me is Calvin gave us that year. He could have gone to Villa when we were in the stand, when we didn't get promoted that season.
What I'm saying is that he knew he was sorting his contract out when we were fighting relegation, and that stinks to me. But it is what it is. good luck to him. Fucking blah blah blah. We're in a completely different league now. We're a completely different league when we were in the Premier League to them, but we're certainly in a different frigging league now. But yeah, Jack Harrison, like you say, there's just no loyalty in football, is there? I mean, you can't really. I mean, if you were offered a load more money to go back to somewhere where you'd prefer to play, if you were a footballer, you'd take it, wouldn't you? Fuck it. Because quite clearly, there is no loyalty in football anymore. I mean, do we think that Cooper would have fucking jumped ship as well if he'd have not got injured? Do you think he'd have gone abroad?
I'd have really judged him harshly if he'd have gone to Saudi.
I would have done, especially after what he'd said earlier in the season.
Yeah, it would have been not quite as bad, but almost as bad as that smoggy Scouts fraud Endo that went back on everything that he's ever said about humanity and everything else that he he pontificated about. He not only has he stolen a living as a footballer for a decade, but then he's gone and stolen a living over there for a lot more.
Exactly.
But no, he would have been a hypocrite if he'd gone. Now we'll never know if that was genuine or not, because he did get injured and therefore he's not moving, presumably. To come back to the question you asked, Luke, it's still shit. He's got a bit more favour because he was part of the squad that got us promoted, and you can see that two ways. There is the element of the likes of Dallas that must be killing him because he can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And Cooper being injured, Bamford being injured, but those players and the others that were fringe players or what have you that are playing now, they'll be looking at Jack Harrison as somebody that went through all of that with them, all that journey, and then coming back down again. That he was part of. He was part of the relegation to then jump ship in the way that he has. And for me, it even stinks that bit more that it's late. If these players were going to move, for me, it should have been earlier, and then at least we know what we're going at. It still sticks in the craw a little bit that the transfer window shuts well into the season, because you don't know what squad you're going to have even at the start of the season. You play your first few games, and your squad might be completely different. But yeah, so I mean, I rate him, and I've never made a secret of that. This one's hurt more than the others, just purely because if he'd have been playing, and Cine as well, if them two play, there's not many players that are going to be able to hold a candle to them across the course of a season. If they're both fit and they play all season in Championship, they give you a real strong chance of going up.
Well, they've bolted, aren't they? And he's making them train and change on the road and everything now.
Yeah,
So
but as I said,
done,
I would. Archie Gray's, as Luke mentioned, Archie Gray is even younger than Willie, and he's got a bit of a tempestuous nature to him, I think, where he might be a little bit rash, as Calvin was when he was younger. And it'll be hurting him what's happening to his club, because it is his club. And, training ground fracas, it happens from time to time. And, he might put himself in a position where he really hurts somebody purely on the principle because he's fucked off about it. So I'm not surprised that they're training separately, but equally, I've got a lot of time for Farke and the way that he's handling this. I just hope against all hope that he doesn't go, hang on a minute, you told me it were going to be bad, but you didn't tell me it were going to be this bad. The level of bad that it's getting to. And I really, really hope that he doesn't decide to go. I don't think I'd hold it against him if he did, if he's been sold something that and it's so much worse. But fucking hell, imagine trying to recruit a manager now.
No, it'd be catastrophic, wouldn't it? It'd be absolutely catastrophic. It's just like for me, I think we talked about it a bit ago in terms of, and I think you mentioned it, Smarty, actually about loyalty. And I think these players, the majority of them aren't Leeds fans. They haven't been brought up as Leeds fans, so I can see it from their perspective. But I think I'm more disappointed, and I feel a bit more let down by some players that I expected probably to stick around and just see if we'd bounce back up, even if till January, see how the land lies, put themselves. Now I understand from various reports that the reason that they're putting themselves out there to make these moves is that there's a date on these clauses or something. Now I don't know if either of you know.
Apparently, Adams has got one, hasn't he? Apparently, Adams has got one, hasn't he?
I think they all have. I think all these people with clauses had a sort of used by best before date type thing scenario. So they had to activate them, or somebody had to activate them by a particular date. Now I don't know what that date was. Rumor was it was yesterday, but I don't suppose we'll ever know. I've seen a couple of Phil Hay, Graham Smith been asked about if they know much about them or the dates, and nobody seems to know. I don't know where that's come from actually, but that would obviously probably line up a little with the reason why they're sort of all pushing at this stage, even when injured. They shouldn't be really realistically pushing for a move when injured. But what sort of fucking player does that? But I think with Jack though, the thing that's really disappointing is he's gone to join Everton, who they weren't much better than us last season.
Clearly loves being relegated.
Yeah, is he ever? Is it? Yeah, he's not going to be. They're not going to be pushing top half of the table.
No, they're going to be down there again, aren't they?
Is he ever going to play for England? He's not good enough. He's not really going to further his career for me. Arguably, he's going to be playing at a higher level. Is he going to get more money?
Every other wanker that's gone to Europe. It's like that shithouse Werber, Mister. I'm a leader on the pitch.
Warrior.
I'm Mr. Dependable, fucking blah blah blah, whilst wiping his chin from talking fucking shit. What an absolute wet wipe he is, by the way. Fuck off. They've gone to these European fucking leagues because they want to save some sort of hope that they might play internationally still. Yeah, half a bloody Austria's team are playing fucking championship still. Maybe not half. Might be a bit of an exaggeration.
I get your point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's fucking bullshit. Fuck them. They've got a responsibility. And I know people are going to start going, oh, but the players and they've got families to look after and all that fucking shit. Fuck off.
Yeah, I don't
They fucking took us down. They should fucking take us back up. It's irresponsible. And I'd fucking I would love to kick them all square in bollocks.
Calm down, Keegan.
I'll tell you what.
I would love it.
I would love it if I'd fucking 2-foot that Werber shithouse. I'll show him a fucking strong tackle. I nearly said a really bad word then. Glad I didn't.
Don't do that. But championship players are not exactly on the breadline, are they? I mean,
exactly.
I know there's
it's not like it's worst league in the world either.
Right.
It's one of the most popular leagues in the world to watch. It's one of the hardest fucking leagues to get out of. And yet these fuckers think they're playing pissing Sunday League down here. Who the fuck are you? You fucking shit. You got us relegated from Premier League because you are all fucking dog shit. But you think you're too good to play for us and you fucked off.
Well, I think
the Austrian league.
They won't ever fucking play for this club again. They will never fucking play for this club again. Ever. Fuck them.
Somebody, I think I can't remember who it was. It was somebody. Somebody I had a conversation with, a heated conversation with. Was he's a Premier League quality player. He deserves it. And then my reply was, well, how come only one Premier League club has come in for him? And that club was Everton. There was two initially, but one of them didn't do any due diligence on how long he was injured for. Apparently, even though we knew how long he was injured for. But yeah, so to suggest that he's a Premier League quality player is probably a little bit over the top for me because he's been in the Premier League, but he's been relegated from the Premier League. He was in the Championship before he got there with us. So that I don't know. There's a lot of stupid arguments around. But anyway, he's not at the same level as Willie and Cine, is he, or is he?
Who, Harrison?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Verber. I would try to work out.
Well, all of them, all the players that have gone out on loan, because they've got their clause, are they just as culpable for our current state as players who haven't got that clause in Sinistera and I think Sinistera's got the clause actually, but Nonto hasn't. That are now trying to force a move. Are they as culpable by you guys?
They're all wankers. They're all terrible human beings.
They can all get in fucking tea.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Right then.
They don't want to play for my club, so they can fuck off.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest, some of them we didn't really give a fuck about, did we? We were glad to see back at Christensen because he's a fraud of a fucking footballer, just like Firpo is, and there's a couple of others in there as well. Aronson, yeah. To be fair, right, and I did say this quite early on, I think he'd have probably done a job in Championship. I think it'd have been a good learning curve for him. I think he might have done all right. He's still a wanker, but yeah, I think
it would have gone one or two ways, wouldn't it? It would have.
Yeah.
It would have done a Jack Harrison and come back a bit bulked up over one of the summers, having put in a load of work, or he'd have been kicked from pillar to post. It would have been one or the other.
Yeah, agreed.
But,
Agreed.
yeah.
Anyway, now we've sort of fucking got all
Put
that
the
off
world
his
to
backs,
rights.
and we're feeling a bit better about it. Let's have a bit of a chat about these potentials, the potential.
Hang on. Have you remembered what you asked for in Brand?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. There was a question
pop it
asked. Yeah, just bear with me 2 seconds. Just want to get a comment. It was a question asked by Mark Wright. Is the sign going around? Is the sign going around on Twitter outside Thorpe Arch?
You mean that shit one on a fucking plank with some pissing Sharpie written on
This
it?
one?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
this one
Fucking
right
hell.
here.
Yeah, it's
So
real.
side before self every time, and then he's listed all the players that have gone out either on loan or he or she. Sorry, we're very inclusive on this channel.
Theirs.
They've named all the players, and it says, I can't remember exactly what it says. Does it say something like greed, no fight, scum?
Greed,
we don't
no
want
fight.
you. We don't want you. LUFC fans never forget. I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, is it real? First of all, do you think?
Well, it
Firstly,
looks
someone's
pretty real
missing
to
a
me.
sign outside the pub, aren't they? Because that definitely was a sign from outside a pub or
It looks
something.
like it. I thought it were a wardrobe door or a fence panel at first, but it's actually got the frame around it. It is.
There's some kiddies menus with bloody chicken chips and peas at the other side of it, or some a load of
Scampi
laminated
fries.
fucking bits. Load of laminated menus on the other side of it.
It is one of the most Leeds Dar things I've ever seen. It's worse than that shit-stained rag that they were holding up outside peacocking it. Whoever made that definitely slavers into the food thinking about that ebony. Definitely, 100% wants to buy a knickers.
I mean, Jason's wrote it.
You said that, not me.
What do you? I mean, he's only saying what we're all thinking, but actually to go to that trouble and actually
It's a bit
drive
extreme,
it
isn't
up
so
it's a little-
badly. That's what
it's a
annoyed me.
it just looks
it's
shit,
not just
doesn't
to
it?
do it; it's to do it so badly.
Yeah.
It's like it just underscores.
It's written
the
on
entire-
wood. Someone's used a felt tip on wood. I mean, fucking
Sharpie
hell.
that fucking hell.
Because you were mad.
Yeah.
He went through
He's
4
used about
Sharpies.
seven different pens. Yeah, about to say.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's only saying what we're all really thinking. I mean, we all probably do think something along them lines, but yeah, just don't do it. Really, it's a little bit sad, and that's going
Don't
to
go there.
we're going to get absolutely toasted on social media for it. By
We are scraping the bottom of the barrel as it is. Never mind, fucking drilling through the bottom of the bastard with shit like that.
Right then. Anyway, let's go through a few of these comments really quickly. We've had absolute loads. I've started 1 or 2, so we'll just fly through. We were on about John Kevin Augustin earlier, and Charles says he found out yesterday that Augustin outscored Mbappe at the 2019 Under-19 Euros, and Messi put him in his top 10 up-and-coming players.
Yeah, he was really rated, is it? Do you think Charlie's his middle name? That's Charles Charlie Charles.
That's a beautiful
Charlie
name.
Charles.
Some alliteration for you right there.
There you go.
Alliteration and repetition all in one.
Charles.
Charles.
Mr. Dodo.
He talks like, hello, Charles. How are you this morning?
Mr. Dodo says apparently we've talked about this yet. He's put non-toast in his area. And Costa, how's Costa got the audacity to say he's not playing for us? The cheeky bastard. He's absolute crap.
It's bad when players like him are refusing to play for you, innit? Fucking hell.
It's like me turning up to Crucible for snooker and saying, hang on, not playing today. I've got Ronnie. Nah, I'm too good. Got Ronnie. I've pulled Ronnie. I am not lowering myself to these lot. No chance. Yeah, fuck off. Coleslaw and toast. I believe the board expected to sell somebody like Adams and Meslier and use those funds to rebuild, but we've had no money in. Do you think we are a bit of in a position where they've been overly cautious in terms of I mean, I don't want to go into the fucking financial fair play, the profit and sustainability bollocks, because everybody seems to have turned into a professor on it on Twitter at the minute. And I just can't be asked talking about it if I'm honest with you. But do you think we are at a position where they potentially don't want to sort of overspend, and we are looking at sort of balancing the books in terms of ins and outs? Is that our stance on it, do you think, Gilly, at the moment?
I think if that's the case, then it's really naive to come out and say we're going to be aggressive in this window. That's the way that I see it. Is they they've set an expectation. That was part of Parag's statement. Is whatever.
Did he say we were going to be
don't
aggressive in the
check.
window, Parag? I can't even remember him saying.
He also said he does contracts in his sleep.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, I remember him saying that specifically. Yes, which makes you think why someone who pisses contracts out like the fucking confetti would let so many fucking release clauses be put into players' contracts, wouldn't you? But there we go.
Andy was part of the board while these contracts were made in some shape or form.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like someone who pisses, whatever.
And that's why I'm saying he needs to carry some of that culpability for that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I've said my piece. Smarty.
What about you, Smarty? Where do you think we stand on incomings? Do you think we do have to wait for a couple of dominoes to fall, as the old saying goes?
Well, I think enough dominoes have frigging fallen. I think if the table's the next thing to fucking fall over, isn't it? Jesus Christ! I mean, what else?
We'll start using chairs from South Stand and putting them in a domino.
We're at bottom
rally.
of the table already.
Yeah. Are we
Give me a
bottom?
frigging decorating table out with a load of wallpaper paste on it.
No, we've got 1 point out with Borough Town and Wednesday and Sunderland. Haven't got any points yet. We've got one.
Thank fuck. I mean, you just look at that frigging table, don't you? I know we're just, slightly digressing, but we're down at we're in 19th place. There's Millwall, QPR, Cardiff, Swansea, Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, and fucking Huddersfield around us. I mean, if it ain't a big welcome home, then there's no else, is there? I mean, Christ. 2 seasons ago, we were all going, we're going to fucking Europe, we're going to tear it up. Now we're at fucking bottom at pissing championship.
Don't
I want to go play fucking Kirby on M62. I'm fucking depressed. It's shit. It's kind of nice. It's kind of a homely feeling, I suppose, because it was dog shit before, and it's fucking dog shit now. Can't speak. Anyway.
Easy to
fuck
get
knows.
tickets, though.
Yeah. Fucking hell. I got absolutely slated the other week for saying, all these people that seem to be busy on Wednesday nights can't make it to Shrewsbury. People have got lives and jobs. Yeah, but they didn't fucking have lives and jobs on a Friday in Premier League, do you fucking wankers? Anyway, we won't go there.
So ins and outs. Are we waiting for? Do we need to sell before we're going to bring somebody in?
Well, we've sold enough. Oh, well, we haven't actually. We've only sold one player, haven't we? Fucking Rodrigo. But
we had a deal that lined up for Max Aarons, didn't we? So
Aaron's
that
for
would suggest
7
we have
million.
got a
So
bit
there's
of
7
money.
million you'd think there, and maybe another 3 from the Rodrigo. So you'd think there might be 10 million quid knocking about.
We've signed
so you'd think...
Ampadu and Darlow as well. Don't forget.
Yeah, but Darlow were a fucking absolute steal, wasn't it? 400 grand. Christ, I think I could even afford that.
And don't forget,
Me and Gilly could club together. That.
well, I'll give you a £5. You can put rest in.
Yeah, all right, sound. But no,
bear in mind, we got that for
Just
Tyler
have
Roberts.
Carl Darlow making you breakfast.
2 sugar lumps, please, Carl.
Naked butler.
Flipping. I bet he's good at flipping pancakes with his big
with his
fucking
little,
hands.
yeah, I bet he would. I bet he'd just grab him out of the pan, wouldn't he? Wouldn't use a spatula, wouldn't he? Fuck off. Get in there.
Asbestos fingers, just flipping everything with his fingers.
Yeah.
Look at you on about.
I don't know. It's what happens, in it. It's just a shit show. Everyone's miserable, so everyone starts getting a little bit deluded with stuff. Carl Darlow fingering fucking pancakes.
I'm going to go to sleep tonight and start having dreams about Carl Darlow's fingers.
Look at these! Anyway.
Yeah. I've been having some mad dreams recently. I'm not going to tell you about them. Yeah, I will afterwards, but there's some mad dreams going on.
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
not for public hearing.
So yeah, we'll fuck that question off. Thanks ever so much for it. Next one. Jammy, you have the situation where the previous owners talk too much. Americans generally do talk too much, so maybe they don't want to be the stereotypical Yank loudmouths. Now we've heard a couple of things from people who know about the 49ers enterprises, who've done various podcasts and videos and things that have said that this is their style, though. They keep the cards very close to the chest and not to expect a rad style approach to things, I suppose, and plaster it all over Twitter that would sign fucking a new striker from the south of France only for him to sign for somebody else and fail his medical. Yeah, it's nice, but sometimes I think as fans, do we need a little bit of a cuddle, and do we need to be told a little bit of information? Do we need a bit of a press release?
Look, I want more than a fucking cuddle right now. I want to be fucking wined and dined.
I'll see what Carl Darlow's doing.
He's cooking me a stir fry at a minute. Yeah, I want to be wined and dined, and I want to be stroked to sleep. I want Carl Darlow's here to stroke my hair whilst I fall asleep. That's what I want. I think we're past fucking cuddles.
I just want hair to be stroked.
Yeah. You could comb it from your ass.
So do we? Oh, the old combing it from his arsehole. I still remember when I said that to you. Fucking hell.
One of the best things I've ever heard in my life.
Anyway, we are live on YouTube right now, so let's.
Yes, back in the room.
So yeah, I don't think that's much of a case, to be honest. I think that's just their style, Jamie. If I'm honest with you, Carla, we're doing buddy. It's important to note that some of these players who have said to the new owners they are staying and up for the fight, but on the other hand, actively seeking moves. 49ers' hands are tied with that. I think that's a good point in it. I don't think you could have ever prepared. There's every chance that these lads have said that they're going to stay, that they're going to give us a season and try and bring us up. But, things do happen. There are friendship groups within particular football clubs and settings. Do you think that's potentially played a part, Smarty?
Fuck knows.
That's lovely input, that, Smarty. Well done.
Sorry about that. Delightful take on things. I don't know. Do you know this bastard? These clauses though, they're only supposed to be for 12 months, aren't they? So these clauses don't carry into next year.
See, I've heard a rumor that Aronson's does, and if we're still not promoted, he can go back out on loan.
Yeah, but we want him to. I don't want him back at club.
Yeah, no. There's a few that we would not like back.
If we get promoted, we know he's not good enough. And if we don't get promoted, we can't afford the wages for him to come back on. So whatever happens, we need rid of Aronson, Rasmus, Koch. Yeah, the players that just plainly weren't good enough. We need rid of, but technically we still own. And that is actually a problem for next season, is what are we going to do about it? And that's the worst thing about it, is we're not going to be able to draw a line under the sand here. They've not walked out for nothing. A lot of them are assets owned still by the club.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a decision point at some point in the future to be made. And that's really shit, because as fans, we're going to be held back by that. We're not going to be able to go, do you know what? They've gone. Let's forget about it. Because at some point, they're going to come back to the club. At the end of the season, they're going to come back, and pre-season's going to be pictures of them. Well, and maybe not. But as fans, we won't know that until they leave.
But it's like you say, you see Leicester and Southampton making sheer millions out of the players, and good players, Ward-Prowse and Harvey Barnes and stuff have been sold for good money. We don't have that many good players because they're all absolutely terrible football.
We sold them a year prematurely. We sold our key assets a year prematurely.
Harrison should have been sold after the first year of his initial contract, when we actually bought him from Man City. That's when he should have been sold.
Newcastle,
when he were actually exactly, or whatever it was, when he actually was playing well, and then he's been fucking average ever since. That's when we really did miss the boat. Now he's gone on loan. We paid £26 million to loan fucking Sinistera by all accounts.
He's going back to the club.
He's going back to the club that we bought him for £26 million. So we bought him. We played him for about 6 games, and he's pissed off about it. And we've just spunked £26 million. What a fucking great deal that is.
It's almost as bad as JK.
For that fucking guy.
Well, do you remember when Ruta wanted to get in a game, and his old club that we paid £35 million or whatever it was, smashed our transfer record for him, and they came in and asked for him back on loan.
That scene from Goodfellas.
Top shit housing, isn't it?
That scene from Goodfellas when Ray Liotta's there and they're all like champagne, they're all going like that at each other. That's their boardroom. That's their fucking boardroom, innit? Bastards. Absolutely shafted us, haven't they?
They have, yeah. Moving on then. If by some good question, this actually, we've probably just covered it, and Smarty just covered it for all of us forever. If by some divine intervention and we get promoted,
he's got my shirt on.
Would you?
Is that Batty? He's got my shirt on.
Yeah, Batty. Yeah.
Is yours long sleeved?
No, it's short sleeved. I'm afraid.
It's not yours then.
Cool.
Yeah. That's Jay's slot short sleeve shirt. That Batty's got on.
Okay.
If by some divine intervention and we get promoted, would you be happy with any of the loan out players returning? Absolutely not.
Yeah. There'd be more than a sign outside Thorpe Arch.
Yeah.
There'd be a mattress when we sat on the bastard with a pitchfork, turning them all away, saying, "Oh."
With your sign outside.
No. I'll be sitting on sign. I'll make some lovely little furniture. I'll craft some kind of stool out of it, and I'll use it, and I'll just sit there saying, "You can turn around and fuck off."
I think they've set the stall out.
Yeah.
If the club's not good enough for them, the club's not good enough for them.
Absolutely.
I
that's it
don't give
forever.
a shit which division we're in. They're under contract to Leeds, and have walked where they were the players that put us in that division.
Yeah.
So for me,
There's no way back for them, is there?
Nah,
I
no
don't
chance.
think
At all.
so.
At all. None of them. Not a single one.
Unless they go and score fucking 40 goals this season and fucking, but even still, that would improve their value. I'd still rather sell them for what they were. We've seen them played, you know what I mean? We know what they are about. And ultimately, they've left us in shit stain. Shit
Yeah.
state, sorry.
Shin stain.
Shit stain.
We're all in a
state.
massive shit stain.
Farke, skip again. Hope Farke doesn't walk. He will see this as a huge challenge. If he gets promoted in the next 2 seasons, it will be a monumental achievement by him and the problems left by the previous regime. Do you think then, just on this, what Skip's point, do you think the club then might be happy with this season? I mean, it doesn't sound ideal to us as fans, but do you think they'd be happy with anywhere in the Championship, just finishing in the Championship and then going for it next summer? I mean, it doesn't sound ideal to us, obviously.
No, I get you. I think they're a group of investors. They're in it to make money. And the quicker you can make money, the more you can make money, if that makes sense, because it's always money to money. So the earlier you get a return on investment, the better. So, no, I don't think they will be happy with that. And I think they even the minority investors, I think there'll be pressure from the investment group to actually do something more meaningful this season. So I don't think they will be happy with that because they're an investment group and they're purely the reason it exists. Its entire MO is to make money, and they only do that by this club being successful.
Fair. I hadn't thought about it too much, to be fair, but I mean, the reason I suggested that is I just feel that there's been too much too quick happen for them to have any chance this season. And you look at the squad we've got. Look, we had a shit squad last week, but we've still got probably 10 players, first team players to come back at some stage that aren't looking for a way out. Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy that, isn't it?
It is,
It is
yeah.
crazy
It's fucking
that.
nuts.
But as we discussed in our WhatsApp chat, difficult to know who's injured and who's not injured right now with all of the rumours flying around. Yeah. Difficult to know. Now, some of them, fine. But yeah, it is difficult to know exactly where
they're left behind, though, just aren't good enough, are they? On a whole, apart from obviously the ones that we've signed, Rodon, Darlow, our Carl, and Purdue. The
guy
rest
who
of
we
them-
played on the right wing.
Oh,
The guy we played on the right wing against. Guy we played on right wing against Birmingham couldn't get in Millwall side last season.
Yeah. I'm quite happy with Cresswell. But I never want to see Shackleton at right wing ever again in my life, ever.
No.
Well, he's not a winger anyway. He's
He's
not.
not, but you're going to take your
Half of them are fucking barely footballers, Matthew. Jesus Christ. Let's be fucking right fair.
Okay, James.
I'm a footballer. Okay, Pinocchio. Fucking pull other one.
Mark Wright said, "Use run about Tom Brady." I seen on Twitter somebody wanted to egg the director's box from the family stand. I saw that. Maybe it was him. Got a good arm on him. Yeah.
Can the egger get in touch, please? I will pay for your eggs and the cannon to fire them fucking with.
And then one more before we move on. Football is a funny old game. A young lad once told the club that Leeds were not good enough for him. Fans were pissed off by him. He has now come back after a trial.
Sam Byram.
Good point.
And we're looking to get Charlie Taylor, another turncoat bastard. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What a wonderful season we're about to have.
Byram and Taylor, though, were at the same time, and Byram never refused to
that
play.
fucker refused to play, didn't he, Taylor?
Byram didn't.
Taylor did.
Yeah.
No, Byram didn't. Taylor did.
Yeah.
Shit
So
house.
I think that was probably slightly different. Byram still
What's
put
Alex
the shirt
Bowen
on
doing?
and played. Rapping.
Yeah.
So
rapping
yeah, that's
presents.
that. Any other questions? This is a good point, actually, just on what we've been on. Regardless of league, we need to build a team of players that are reliable and want to play for us first and foremost. We need to rebuild that ethos, don't we? That promotion team. And look, this was very much led by Bielsa, we've got to admit, and his style and his expectation and, getting them to pick litter. Can you imagine this lot trying to go out and pick litter, getting, you know what I mean? They're just not bother.
Yeah.
No.
So we need to bring that that togetherness and that unitedness, I think, back to the club and bring the right players. And I think Joe Rodham's going to be a fantastic signing for us, by the way.
I hope so, yeah.
Ampadu already looks like that type of player that'll get put, Dan James, albeit not a great footballer, but he gets it what it is to be here. He'll put his fucking
25
foot
million
in.
well spent.
Yeah. Just for a bit of passion. £25 million for passion. You could get
50 million for passion is done.
You could get loads of pepperoni passions for that price and just chuck them.
I wonder if anyone else is in the market for passion.
Yeah. Do you know what I used to order from? You know what I used to order from Domino's, or actually from this
Pepperoni
probably from
passion,
any
is
other
it?
reason. Yeah.
You can get double though, can't you?
No, but I used to get pepperoni passion with extra passion.
Extra passion.
Is it
This
Joe
tastes a bit
Wainwright
weird.
that gets called a passion merchant?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I was
Anyway,
just looking to see if there were any additional news, and just on this around Harrison. Actually, I'm not. I think it is Harrison. Yeah, it is. In fairness, Radrizzani wanted him gone. It was 49ers Enterprises who wanted him to stay and went out of their way to keep him. So I think it's a bit shitty to then jump ship when they need him. It grates on me because the others aren't Leeds, no connection to the club. But Jack, that's from El Loco Joe, friend of the pod, I believe.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, so yeah, again, that's it. Sort of illuminates everything that I'm saying about sort of loyalty and yeah. And do you know what? I know you guys felt he had a little bit of he should get a bit of an easier run, but for me, it almost should be worse because he's leaving true mates that are at the club in shit, in a shit state. So yeah, I mean, we're all going to have our opinions on it. If we all had the same ones, we wouldn't have a podcast and it'd be pretty shitty, wouldn't it? So even worse, yeah, let's move on anyway. We're all going on Friday night. I think we're going to have a bit of a chat about West Brom and expectations. Have West Brom started? They beat somebody at the weekend. Was it Bristol?
I think they're on
Swansea.
3 points, are they?
Swansea. They beat Swansea. They lost to Bristol on opening day. Yeah, I think Tyler Roberts played for him.
Hat-trick. And obviously,
Yeah.
Corberan in charge.
Corberan in charge.
Oh, is Corberan there as well? They're all the boys are coming back to roost, aren't they? Fucking hell.
Let's get the old gang back together. How do we see it going then, Smarty, other than not very well?
Probably going to lose.
Do you think?
Let's be right honest. Yeah. Well, the Elland Road crowd, although it was absolutely dog shit against Cardiff, my entire
awful, wasn't it?
Then again, 2-0 down after half an hour or so probably will do that to you.
Tyler Roberts is at Birmingham, is he? Sorry, yeah, we signed him from West Brom. We sold him to Birmingham.
Of course.
My mistake.
Right.
My mistake.
Sorry. See, it's good. It's
signed
good
him
job
from
we've got
West
these
Brom.
guys in the comments fucking keeping us straight in it. So I will remove that bet for Tyler Roberts to get a hat-trick against Leeds because he's not playing against Leeds at the weekend.
Carl, take that bet off.
Carl, he's finishing my stir fry. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if Rodon comes in, but then again, we've been quite happy with Cresswell and Strike at the back, haven't we? So we'll see. But I think it's going to have to be somewhat similar. Obviously, Sinisterra is not going to be available. Nanto's not going to be available. I don't think there's anyone else that's injured. I don't know how far away Dallas is, but I can't wait to see his beautiful little face back on the field. But I think it's going to be somewhat like we already saw at Birmingham. So I don't have great hopes. I think we'll be quite possessive, but absolutely toothless in attack.
Greenwood back in contention.
Is he? Great.
Ruta.
See some nice side passing going on.
Half, didn't he? So, yeah. So, well, I do wonder actually whether he'll be deployed further forward because
I hope so.
Came in as an attacker from Arsenal, but then we played in defensive midfield.
Perkins? What's everyone's thoughts about Perkins?
He's been ill, hasn't he? I don't know what the illness is, but he's been ill. That's all we've seen.
A few people
I've
have
not
pointed
seen any
out, like,
detail.
there's obviously been rumours, as it's Twitter, so of course there's been rumours that he's obviously got his lip out and he don't. Someone's uncovered that he don't follow the official Leeds United stuff on any social platform that he's on and all sorts. So obviously everyone's fucking, it says he don't want to be here. Fuck him. It's. But I actually don't know. I hope so because I think he's quite a good player, as Perkins. I think he could do a job. I like Matteo Joseph more from the young ones, but not the programme. But yeah, If we'll
Was he
we'll
lined
see
up
what.
alongside Rick Mail?
Yep. The young ones.
Yeah, I mean, even against Birmingham and Cardiff, even in those two games, we saw what Farke's trying to do, didn't we?
Yeah.
You know, we've seen the style and as Gilly said, you know, the plays and the way, you know, the shapes that we're trying to create and how we're trying to move players around and stuff. We just don't seem to have the players to be able to do it at the moment. So
we need to find a 12-foot striker that can get on end of Dan James's crosses.
What, from corner flag?
Yeah, corner flab.
Yeah.
What's
I
Lasogga
mean,
doing these days?
Box your fat bugger. It's for me. I think we stand a better chance this week than what we did against Brum because we were left so short at the last minute. Sorry, Brum last week, wasn't it? Yeah. Brum.
Okay.
So did Roberts play last week then? I
Clearly
don't remember
not.
him playing.
Maybe he's injured again.
Probably. maybe he's injured. Well, fuck's sake. I've injured my leg again.
So we've obviously got Rutter to come back. We've got Joffrey is not the answer. I don't know what if Joffrey's the answer. What is the question? What is the question? If Joffrey is the answer, we just don't know.
Which one are you going to pick between? Because I don't think either of them are better than the other. I don't think Rutter's a more viable option in any way.
I mean, he's a bit faster.
It's like picking between a three-legged horse and a headless chicken, innit?
In what, a race or a fight?
Anything, just in life. They're both fucked, aren't they?
Yeah.
So.
Well, a chicken would be, can't even eat.
I mean, the thing about the game on Friday...
Glue and KFC. Glue versus KFC.
The thing about the game is both clubs are completely in the shit. Absolutely fucked. And there's no real end in sight for anything that's going on. You know, we've got a new ownership, but the playing squad's just being ripped to bits. But from a West Brom perspective, their club's just being leached all over the place. So it's
Colour me shocked.
Colour me shocked.
I'm glad I'm sat down for that fucking breaking news.
But yeah, both clubs are fucked. So it's kind of, you know, we went toe to toe with Brum for who could be the most shit, and now it's who can be the most badly run club between us and West Brom.
Yeah.
It's got all the makings of a fucking shit Friday night, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It is Friday night, so it's going to ruin the entire fucking
It's
weekend
gonna
as
be
well.
dog
Isn't it?
shit.
I'll be twatted anyway.
And to make it worse, I'll be drinking the worst Guinness that's ever been fucking poured into a pint over at Road
drinking
Peacock as well. It's shit, man.
I take
Don't drink that.
Peacock.
It's all
Stop
wank.
drinking it.
Honestly, I can't tell you how bad it was. I've never had a pint like it before in my life. You could have shat and pissed in a pint, and it probably would have been nicer. Warmer, granted. But
It can't have been any worse than
Honest.
the fucking chicken I had. Anyway, we're gonna have to stop slating, but we might get fucking sued here. Chill out. So anyway, we're all expecting a bit of a shit night. Let's be honest, Friday night. Which leads us on to because we've been a little bit lethargic in the start of this season as a club. Gilly's decided to be a little bit lethargic in his taking down of notes or predictions as well. So yeah, we're going to bring that back. Nobody's got any points because I think most of us have predicted wrongly, but we are going to start it officially from today, I think, aren't we, Gilly?
Yeah. I'm just scrolling back now because I have seen some of the fans' predictions, so I'll just see you
Cool.
first and
But
capture that one.
before we do that,
Orta no better predictions.
I've seen that this season. Brilliant. Start with you then, Smarty, seeing as you've got biggest head.
Oh, not the shiniest, though. I'm going to go 2-1 West Brom. Okay. In fact, no, what am I saying? 2-0. We're not scoring. Fuck it. Yeah, I've got to apologise to Jamie. I'm hurting his lovely American ears. I'm sorry, Jamie, if I'm offending you, by the way. It's just English. By the way, I haven't sworn as much tonight as the amount I swore when I saw your post on Instagram, that shite you're eating. I feel sorry for your bloody family eating that cack. Christ. If you haven't, if you follow him on honestly, go and have a look. Honest, oh Christ, it's that American gravy that looks like blended cheese.
Oh yeah, the white
biscuits. Fucking what is that filth?
Like gruel.
It does. There's some eggs and like some
gruel and
like
digestive.
rusk. They look like rusk biscuits that you give fucking kids when they're babies, just with topped with a load of fucking filth. Horrible.
Did you manage to get one from the fans in Gilly yet?
Yeah. I've got 3-0
go back
West
to
Brom by
predictions.
Danny Rumsey was first.
Danny Rumsey is the air of positivity on here, isn't he? Before the season, even when things were looking good, he predicted we were going to finish 16th. Like this was before anything. We still had all the players
3-0 up against Chelsea. No, we're definitely going down.
Yeah. Gilly, you go next if you want.
Alison knows. Maybe they have it in Ireland as well. This gravy looks like shite.
Better than a
I'm
Guinness,
going
though.
with a Desmond.
Yeah, better than Guinness.
You think there's that many you think we're going to score 2 goals? Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
no.
you never know. They might score an Oggy.
Okay, yeah. There's always imagine 2
Remember
own
under
goals.
Bielsa, I think he our second or third top scorer at own goal.
Possibly.
I think in Bielsa's first season, I think our third top scorer was own goal. So
Sorry, Danny. He said 14th, not 16th. That makes all the difference. Fucking hell.
No, me and Gilly said 16th.
That was it.
It's toasty. It's nice.
Jay's in
what is
chat,
it?
so he can get involved with one, and I just need yours then, Luke.
1-0 Leeds.
Oh no, we've lost another one. Fucking hell. It's not even gravy. Anyway.
Not gravy.
Well,
It's
actually, is
absolutely
it?
not
Why is
gravy.
it white?
Oh man, it's this. We're all northern here. Well, you kind of are far now. You've moved down south, but we're all northern. We all love proper fucking gravy. That shit ain't gravy. I'm sorry.
What is it? Why is it white then? What's it made from? Why is it so different?
Jamie,
It's like 80s dog shit.
Robert, do you wanna enlighten us into your filthy
What it is, yeah.
nastiness over the pond?
Biscuits and gravy. Anyway,
Biscuits. What? Oh,
so we're waiting for a
80s
few
dog shit.
more. We're waiting for a few more predictions from the lads. But was there
Have you
any?
got
Was there
Carl's?
anything? Not
Yeah,
yet. I don't
Carl's
think.
prediction.
No, I've not seen
Carl's predictions in there. 2-1 Leeds. Don't know why. Just side eyes. He says.
Just side eyes. All right.
Just.
Is there anything else I've missed out on that we haven't had a chat about this week? Oh, I know. I know. What about this? The East Stand Grub. How come they get nice food over there? Did you see that?
So there's cheese wedge
Have you not
ultras
seen it,
also
Smart?
get. Yeah, cheese
No.
wedge ultras also get it as well. It's
the
like,
chicken fried- Chicken
dirty
fries.
fries and stuff.
What? I'm in South Stand. I'm literally walking over puddles of piss, and they're getting.
I'm looking if I can get.
Grub.
Yeah, I'm looking if
So
I've
you know that
got.
big
I get a
ram?
plastic glass without a cup, without a fucking big.
Slicing my
crack in
tongue
it.
open on plastic glasses, standing over puddles of piss, and inhaling second-hand smoke. That's what football's all about.
It's your piss. You can't complain.
It's just yeah.
No, you know Big Ram, where it's
Styled
got
itself.
that nursery that's been lifted out of Beirut next to it?
Yes.
I was stood at the bottom of that, and the pop-up tent thing that does the street food were there, and Bren were walking down the ramp with his nipper, and I was waving to him because he didn't know I was there. I was stood there with Charlie, another friend of the pod, and I was trying to get his attention, and he were walking forwards, but his eyes were out on stalks looking at the street food, and then he just went
Really?
listening. So I don't know whether he went to get any or not, but
We need to.
What's
We need to get
this?
some pictures.
there.
Coleslaw and toast. He was in the cheese. But he got pulled pork nachos. Fucking
Nachos?
hell, man.
What the fuck?
Well,
nachos?
can't get pizzas.
What? What is all this fucking what?
Have you not seen
get
that?
fucking-
Stop at West
so-
Ham get pizzas.
You get injured in the mouth. You have to stand over piss. You get second-hand
Injured
smoke,
in the
and yours
mouth.
you get cut out from plastic glasses. You get mouth injuries from the
That's
fucking
from Carl
cups.
Darlow, fish hooking you.
Well, that's if you can get a fucking pint. It takes a 9 bastard years to serve you, fucking snail boy behind the fucking bar. But also, all the pissing foods like it's come fresh from fucking Chernobyl's reactor number 4. It's all fucking just cremated.
It is.
I can't
them fucking
speak.
pies and them
Oh,
pies
fuck
and
me.
them burgers. Honestly, they're like microwave burgers that they've literally just left on.
Under the meat lamp.
They just wait. Yeah, they just wait till they wait till somebody. They just leave it in microwave. It's like you might have put them in for 2 minutes. They just leave microwave on and leave them in until somebody wants one. It could be 45 minutes until somebody wants
crumbles
one.
into dust in your hand. Oh, this is
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, you inhale these burgers and sausages. You don't eat them.
Well, all it was for cup game. So for cup game, I were in NEL. Normally, in NEL is not a problem because you get to stand up and whatever else. No one but me. We were on back row, and I still got complained at because somebody further down stand couldn't see because I was stood up. I was proper fuming because I hate sitting down at football. I really hate it. And obviously, in safe standing and everything, don't come and look at me on a match day or whatever. But no, it was proper. But there was no atmosphere at all, and everybody would just carrying hot dogs and shit around it standing. I'm like,
what?
For fuck's sake.
I'll stick to my piss.
So you can always
really
go to Peacock after for a tray of salmonella.
Yeah.
That was bad, that wasn't it?
But you know, I don't know if you've seen the picture that appeared on Football Food or whatever the account is. It looked like like an eel in bread. It looked awful. It's like £4.50 for a 50. Yeah.
No, eels, 3 for the pound.
£4.50 for a hot dog that you.
Of course, it'd be £4.50. It costs you fucking £10 just to fucking breathe inside Elland Road, didn't it? Jesus.
Alison said she'll stick to taking her apple. Some fake security guy was going to take it off her at Palace. They'll take an apple off a lady, as if you would. I'm going to have to take that off you just in case. Just in case.
You're well behind it, can't you?
Where do you sit, Alison? Don't you sit like northeast or somewhere?
Northeast corner, isn't she?
Yeah. I'm sure you can't hit the director's box from there unless you've got Tom Brady sat next to you or Carl Darlow.
Taking her apples off her. Took her apple off her, handed her a fucking vape so she can be a vapist. All that blueberry fucking shit. Yeah, get that in you.
The squad and football is currently that shite that this has now turned into a cooking show. Yeah, yes. One of us can cook though very well.
It's the only good thing. I mean, everyone likes food, don't they? So why not?
Yeah.
What we should do is the worst fucking piece of food like we've seen of the weekend from anyone if they like to submit it to us on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that you've seen at the football this week?
Mine will be just beer.
Why is it a pie that's stuck to the wall for 4.5 years?
Well, Renee's just joined, so I don't know what she's going to think's been happening tonight, to be fair. She said, I just joined at a weird point in the conversation. We're all talking
Renee's
about
from the US and ain't she, as well?
I think
is she
she
from
might be.
Texas?
Good evening, Renee.
She's from Texas. Do the Texans have weird, stupid, not real gravy, or,
Hang on a minute. What's this? I sell kebab meat. It's gross.
I hope that's not an OnlyFans reference.
I hope this isn't.
Don't you be selling your kebabs around, Alison?
Around
Elland Road. Jesus Christ.
Renee, that's a good question. Do you like biscuits and gravy?
Renee, do you like biscuits? I mean, what?
Right, Gilly, you were going to say something when I asked if we'd missed anything tonight.
I'm afraid it's football related. There's been a goodbye message that's come out on social media. I'm just going to read out for you. Thank you, Leeds United fans. We have shared so many amazing memories over the last 5 years.
Must be. Right.
I will keep an eye on the results and wish you nothing but the best for the season ahead. Always, MOT.
Is that it?
Fuck off.
Take your ponytail and piss off, you fucking shithouse. Wanker.
That's made me angry.
Kick in the teeth that is. That's made it worse.
I'll keep an eye on the results and hope you win. Well, you could have just.
I'll keep an eye on the results and fucking laugh because you're shit and you're fucked. See ya.
Yeah. They're all the same. Every single one of them. No. I can't differentiate between any of them. I don't think any of I don't.
We're talking about the American listeners or the fucking players because they're all eating fucking biscuits.
They're all eating biscuits and gravy. Yeah, smash a like for biscuits and gravy.
What the fuck is going on? Oh wow.
Yeah, dickhead. That is it, Charles. Charlie.
Charles.
He is a dickhead.
Charles.
Charles. Charming. Do you remember that advert? They used to sell that bog roll, kitchen roll.
Yeah. An elephant or some shit.
I wouldn't mind if Jack Harrison was absolutely brilliant Like, don't get me wrong, and I know we've got different opinions on this between the three of us. I know you two rate him a lot better than I do. But
Fucking go on, Russ.
if he was one of our, statistically, he was one of our better players over the last few seasons. So if he actually made a difference, shall I say, in every game that he played, and I could understand it. But to go to fucking Everton, what sort of ambition is to go? We've said before, he's not going to play for England now. He maybe had a chance a few years ago under Bielsa. He's not going to play for England. He's going to potentially be in another relegation battle this season, realistically. What is he benefited by taking a jump from? Do you think it is money though? Does he get
It's all
paid?
money. Of course, it's money.
But he's they can only loan him on 100% of the wages that he's on. Surely, they can't pay him any extra for going.
I don't know.
He's on loan.
He could well get a bonus as a signing on though, couldn't he?
He will do, won't he?
Because he'll have a contract with them, so that could just carry.
Yes, Cal. My sentiment exactly.
Goal and assist bonuses and things like that part of it.
He's dog shit, but he's one of his best players. Fucking hell.
I mean, statistically, goals and assists, yes, he is, but
I also don't think that they're going to be in much danger this season because the Premier League is so much weaker this season than it was last.
Yeah,
if you look at the teams that have gone up, they're coming straight back down.
Absolutely rock bottom them.
Yeah,
there's some real shit in the Sheffield United.
Those clubs are coming straight back down, and if we'd have been there and not improved at all, we'd have been fine this season.
Probably.
Yeah.
With same squad, so probably. Weaker. Yeah.
Aside from McKennie, who made it, we'd have been better off with 10 minutes. But
God. I wonder how much gravy and biscuits he fucking eats.
Yeah,
we'll never know.
We never will know. We never ever will. Have we got any other business tonight? But that's not football or food related or American
food related.
Is there an AMC
thing to cover?
By the way, I do like American food. By the way, the brisket's fantastic. I've been to America a few times, of course. But yeah, that I can't get my head around. Just thought I'd say that before I get.
And they invented pizza, just in case Gail's watching.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm
proper pizza. I've been. I've got some other business. It was my daughter's 9th, so that's why that's up there tonight. If anyone's noticed.
Happy birthday, Elvie.
Happy birthday.
So yeah. Yeah, Andy's Man Club, as ever, we do like to just promote that towards the end of these podcasts because sometimes we think you might need it actually, and if you do. We've got a nice little picture there, graphic up there. We've got a few bits and pieces going on in and around Leeds. And Andy's Man Club they've got the Barbers Club on Sunday, which has already been. So don't worry about that one. 20th of August, they've got golf day, so you can message Andy's Man Club directly or Andy's Man Club Leeds to get hold of that.
Via Facebook, remember?
Yes.
Message them via Facebook if you're a golfer.
26th of August, they've got their walk and talk round Temple Newsome. Meeting in the cafe at 11:15 for a short walk, and then they've got a snooker night on pool and snooker night at Northern Snooker Centre on Kirkstall Road. It's spelled Kirkstall wrong, by the way. And that's 6:30 till 9 o'clock. They're open to everybody, friends, families, partners, and then look out if you do want to go, look out for any facilitators.
Me and Gilly are going to come to one of these. It might be that Kirkstall Road snooker session might be a good one to go to, Gil.
Yeah, maybe so. I'll dust my old queue off. I used to have a game with my old man on a Sunday
You'll do
night
what? You'll do nothing of the sort.
I'm just going to go buy a big fucking giant chalk and rub Gilly's head with it. Sling him over my shoulder. Yeah, job's a badger. Anyway.
Oh man! So that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure this episode might be named something like Carl Darlow's fingers or something along those lines. But do continue to share it. Do continue to share the podcast to people. Do subscribe, tell people about it if you enjoy it. It is a little bit of light-hearted fun, so don't comment us on in the comments and tell us that it's just like a group of people in the pub because that's what we aim for. We don't give a fuck, so we don't actually care. But yeah, we will be back after. Who's on after the game Friday or Saturday? I think it's
Jay and Carl. No, Jay and Carl. Jay and Carl are on B&C after the game. I think it'll be Saturday morning though. I think it might be a bit late.
Are you sure?
Yours.
I think you just made that up. I thought it was you as well, Gilly. I think it's Gilly and Carl.
So just boot Jay off today's podcast altogether, just not fucking laugh then.
And then you've told him that he's on at weekend, and then we've rolled him out as well now.
Hey, Russ. Peace out, Russ. Thanks for coming on the other day as well. just another
Top
thing
man.
on the mental health stuff. If you are truly struggling, our DMs are always open, by the way. So if you don't feel confident enough to go
Tread
to
carefully.
one of the MCs, and you just want a bit of a chat, but we're more than happy to facilitate that and have a chat with you, and hopefully be able to signpost you in the right direction. But yeah, other than that, it's all a little bit fucking crap, innit? We've got not a lot to look forward to. We're hopefully gonna see this signing. I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it tonight because genuinely nobody has a fucking clue what it is. I've seen about 20 different names, so I didn't really want to know. I didn't want to get into it too much, but I'd like to see a signing or two.
Did you see that GIF that someone was sharing on today? With a GIF of Steve Irwin with two snakes, and he put it as Farker in training.
Yeah.
Striker with Williamson is staring at training.
Yeah, and then somebody put
brilliant.
not enough snakes, and then the GIF underneath it was that GIF with 1 million snakes.
Yeah.
Cool story,
Did
bro.
you just before we finish then? Did you see the stuff that I put out yesterday where I were showing
I
the
did,
stats
yeah.
of?
Yes, I did. We're basically
I mean,
fucked.
We could have
basically,
talked about that actually tonight.
We could have done, and I forgot about it. But basically what it says is 1 in 3 clubs get promoted at first attempt, and if you don't, you should have gone shit or bust. Because
Like
if
Burnley
you
did.
don't, you're going to be around a while, and that's the biggest concern for me. So 3 clubs managed to get promoted at second attempt, but it's really unusual.
And on that note, on that cheery note,
Yeah.